The full moon cast an eerie glow on the empty highway as Mark, a seasoned trucker, navigated his rig through the desolate night. The rhythmic hum of the engine and the soft crackling of the radio provided the only company on this lonely stretch of road. Mark had been on the road for hours, driving his cargo to a remote town deep in the mountains. The radio had been his only source of entertainment, but the signal was fading in and out. As he rounded a bend, Mark spotted a hitchhiker on the side of the road. It was unusual to see anyone out here at this hour, and Mark's instincts told him to keep going. However, something about the young woman's disheveled appearance and the desperation in her eyes made him hit the brakes. She approached the truck cautiously, and Mark lowered the window. "Need a ride?" he asked. She nodded, tears glistening in her eyes. "Thank you so much. I've been waiting for hours, and no one would stop." As she climbed into the cab, Mark couldn't help but notice how cold her skin felt. "What's your name?" he asked. "Sarah," she replied, her voice trembling. "I just need to get to the next town. It's not far." Mark couldn't shake the feeling that something was off, but he decided to be a good Samaritan and help her. He put the truck back in gear and continued down the dark, winding road. And for a while, they drove in silence, the tension in the air palpable. Mark's unease grew with every passing mile, and the radio signal deteriorated further. Suddenly, Sarah spoke in a hushed tone. "Can you turn the radio off? It's making me nervous." Mark obliged, turning the radio off, leaving only the distant rumble of the engine. He stole a glance at Sarah, who was now staring at him with a sinister grin. Mark's heart pounded in his chest, and he realized he had made a terrible mistake. "What's going on?" he stammered, his grip on the steering wheel tightening. Sarah's grin widened, revealing sharp, unnaturally long teeth. "You shouldn't have picked me up, Mark." Mark's blood ran cold as he watched her transform into a nightmarish creature, her fingers elongating into claws. She lunged at him, but Mark swerved the truck, narrowly avoiding her attack. He reached for the door handle and flung it open, desperately trying to escape. As he tumbled out of the cab and onto the road, he heard a bone-chilling howl behind him. Mark's breath came out in ragged gasps as he scrambled to his feet and ran. The truck's engine roared to life, and he knew that Sarah, or whatever she had become, was now in control. Mark could hear the truck gaining on him, the monstrous entity inside it hungry for his blood. He ran for his life, deeper into the dark forest that lined the road. Branches clawed at his face, and his lungs burned with exertion. But he couldn't stop. He couldn't let that thing catch him. Just when he thought he couldn't run any longer, Mark stumbled upon an old, abandoned cabin hidden deep in the woods. He burst through the door, barricading it with a heavy wooden beam. Gasping for breath, he scanned the cabin for anything he could use as a weapon. The cabin was a time capsule, with faded wallpaper, dusty furniture, and cobwebs hanging from the ceiling. Mark's eyes darted around the dimly lit room, searching for a means to defend himself against the monstrous creature that pursued him. In a corner, he spotted an old hunting rifle, covered in a layer of dust and seemingly forgotten. Mark grabbed the rifle and checked it. To his relief, it was still loaded. He knew he needed to prepare himself for whatever was out there, and with the rifle in hand, he felt a glimmer of hope. As he peered out of a cracked window, he saw the headlights of the truck approaching the cabin. The creature was determined to find him. Mark's mind raced as he tried to think of a way to outsmart his pursuer. He needed a distraction. He searched the cabin for any flammable materials and found a canister of kerosene. His plan formed in an instant. He would create a diversion, ignite the kerosene, and hopefully the fire would drive the creature away. With trembling hands, Mark doused a rag in kerosene, lit it, and hurled it towards the truck. The cabin lit up in a fiery burst, and the night air was filled with the smell of burning wood. The truck screeched to a halt, and a guttural howl echoed through the forest as the creature recoiled from the flames. Mark took his chance and burst out of the cabin, firing the rifle at the burning truck. The bullets pierced the fuel tank, causing a massive explosion that engulfed the vehicle in flames. The creature, trapped within, let out an agonized scream before the fire consumed it. Mark watched in horror as the truck, burned, but he knew he had no choice. The nightmare had to end. As the last embers flickered out, he turned and made his way back to the cabin. The encounter had shaken him to his core, and he knew he had to find a way to get back to civilization and put the pieces of his life back together. As he walked through the charred remains of the cabin, Mark noticed a hidden trapdoor beneath a tattered rug. It led to a dark, underground chamber. Curiosity got the better of him, and he cautiously descended the creaking stairs. To his astonishment, the chamber held an array of cryptic symbols, ancient manuscripts, and peculiar artifacts. It was a secret lair that revealed the dark history of the cabin, filled with stories of occult rituals and supernatural horrors. Mark's heart pounded as he realized the chilling truth. He had unwittingly stumbled upon something far more sinister than he had ever imagined. The night's events were just the beginning, and the sinister secrets of the cabin would haunt him for the rest of his days. With the eerie glow of the moon still casting long shadows, Mark knew that the nightmare was far from over, and the darkness of the cabin's past would continue to unravel, one chilling revelation